Welcome to Chefs in the City. I'm Ann Fisher along with my co-hosts Steve Stover and Rich Terapak. Welcome as always. Since 1999, City BBQ has grown from one location in a converted donut shop in Upper Arlington to 75 restaurants in 10 states. Jim Budros was one of the so-called barbecue boys, a trio of local businessmen who had earned extra stars for their barbecue skills and helped launch City BBQ. So Jim Budros, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ann. Happy to be here.
Glad. Let's talk about how you earned your chops in barbecue first. I'm curious about that because the person Rick Mailer, who's kind of in charge of City BBQ
Right.
and took it, from the business standpoint, but you were the creative team.
Well,
that he brought in.
my interest in barbecue probably was spawned by having lived in Fort Worth, Texas,
Okay.
for a few years of my growing up, and then returning for graduate school, and eating at the classic place in Fort Worth called Angelo's. Classic old barbecue joint, still there. Went there on a barbecue pilgrimage a couple of months ago, and Angelo's is famous for their brisket, and we sit at the bar, have end cut brisket on rye with mustard and pickles, and
Wonderful.
a big buster of cold beer, and it's just kind of wonderful. It's just kind of wonderful.
Yeah.
Burn ends, that's right. Yeah. So I had this barbecue in my blood, and then the story of City BBQ is a sort of a parallel, a story of the barbecue boys, so to speak, the three of us who are friends, doing barbecue competition and barbecue judging for most of the 1990s. And we had a dream of having a barbecue joint, but we were all busy with our own jobs and businesses. At the same time, Rick Mailer, who I didn't know existed in the world, a Kansas farm boy working for John Deere, married to a Tennessean, and every time he would go home to his wife's home in Tennessee, they would have a barbecue and go out to barbecue places, and it became a big thing for that family. And Rick said, I think a business idea that I have might be a barbecue place, and it might be in Columbus. So quite by accident, Rick and I met in January of 1999.
Okay.
And I introduced him to my two friends, and he proposed that he write a business plan, which he could because he was a master's degree in business from Michigan State. And,
Go State.
Yeah, Michigan State. And a couple of weeks into January, we sat down for what was essentially the whole afternoon on a Friday, and talked barbecue. I had a file with tab with the tab written City BBQ on it. I already had the name.
You were okay. All right.
I already had the name, and Rick had a file mostly of franchise information, and we would talk, and I would say something, and he would say something, and it was as though our lives had been, while in parallel all these years, but not knowing each other. But it appeared as though we had known each other because the things we were thinking about and interested in seemed so parallel and so obvious to us. He said, I can write a business plan right now. And I said, let's meet my two friends, which we did a week later. He proposed a business plan. About a month later, the business plan was in our hands. 1st of April, we shook hands. By May, we had incorporated. By June, we hired Frank Pizzo, who was in the article, a wonderful guy, unfortunately, who died a couple of years ago, but he was the guy that knew how to run a restaurant.
Operation.
Okay, gotcha.
Operation. Yeah.
Frank was...
I was waiting with bated breath to find out when was somebody going to actually enter the stage that can run a restaurant.
But we knew how to cook.
Yeah.
Rick knew how to run a business, but not necessarily a restaurant. And restaurants have a lot of interesting and specific things about them that make them difficult if you don't have any experience. Well, Frank had lots of experience running and opening Burger Kings in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so Rick seduced is the right word, Frank to come to Columbus, and he did.
From Erie?
From Erie.
Okay.
Well, the reason I say it that way is because Frank was the youngest of 7 in his family with 6 older sisters. And he was the baby brother. And he wasn't about to leave Erie with that kind of family pull and connection. But he did. And he just loved it here. And we just loved him. And he was exactly the right person at the right time. Mm-hmm. So we had a business plan, and we had the 3 of us who were in business, but didn't know how to run a restaurant per se, but knew how to cook barbecue because we had done that on the barbecue competition circuit. Mm-hmm. A big couple of big wins, most notably the
Kansas
City Royal in October of '98.
Wow.
Won the brisket competition there against 350 other teams from
amazing
100 from Texas.
Fantastic,
so we felt like we knew what was going on.
And they did it by dragging a big Weber grill and a little wooden cart on the way to Kansas City.
That's
the rest of these guys had these huge stainless steel
smokers and
we did get a big smoker
eventually
a year or 2 later after.
They had to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember you called me when you were driving through St. Louis and you wanted to go to a restaurant which had snoots.
It was called Dick Myers.
Yes.
Dick Myers, famous for the best snoots.
All right, what's snoot?
A snoot is exactly what
nose.
A snout.
Snout is a pork
Smoked?
snout roasted
and
served. And, let's see. No, Dick Myers is the famous brains in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They did a lot of investigation.
Esoteric.
Covered all the
various locations all over the country. They've been riding around checking out barbecue for a number of years before that. Sometimes it'd be like 23 stops in one trip.
Jim coined the term barbecue pilgrimage, and we even did it with our family at different places.
I think you told me about one time when you went to the Carolinas.
Oh, yeah. Soon after we established City BBQ, the 5 of us, Frank and Rick and John and Mike and I, went to North Carolina. We followed a fellow named Garner wrote a book about barbecue in North Carolina for PBS, and we followed the book and roamed around. And I suppose in the 3 or 4 days we were there, we went to 20 places or so. Anyway, it's in certain places in the country, barbecue is an unbelievable culture.
Religion, you were going to say.
Religious, exactly right. Exactly right.
It is. I get that.
Yeah, and we found the culture we like best in Texas. Only because we love brisket so much.
So how do you define the Texas brisket? What does that mean?
Well, most people think when you talk about barbecue, they differentiate parts of the country by the sauce.
Yeah.
But barbecue is really all about the meat, and the sauce is regional. So if I say brisket and pork shoulder and chicken and ribs, if you eat a slab of ribs from the best place in North Carolina and the best place in Texas without sauce, they're going to taste about the same, and they're going to be wonderful and perfect, and they're not quite suck off the bone, but eat and a little pull, and the taste is there, and so the quality of the meat and the quality of the experience of the meat is the real purpose for barbecue, but if you're in eastern North Carolina, the only sauce on the table is going to be a vinegar sauce,
right?
And with no tomato, no ketchup,
right?
So you go a little west in North Carolina, into the western part of North Carolina. They take that vinegar sauce, which we call swine wine.
Okay, that's good.
Swine wine. They mix it with ketchup.
Right. I was going to say.
So there's a red. It becomes red.
Yeah.
And the famous place in Lexington, North Carolina, called Honey Monk's, or I think it's called.
Lexington number 1.
Lexington number 1. Thanks, Steve. Somehow Honey Monk's got in the way of 1. The way they do the barbecue is they pull the pork shoulders. You can't buy it any other way. They pull the pork shoulders and they mix it with this red sauce, and that's the way you get it. You can put it on a sandwich, but
okay.
most notably, you put it on just a plate with other things.
Now, what do you do with the brisket for our watchers or listeners?
So the brisket is a tough piece of meat. Comes from the chest of the cow.
Humble.
It's a very difficult piece of meat to cook because it's worked so much by the animal that it's tough. So you have to cook it slow and low. You can bring it up to proper temperature fast, but that doesn't do some chemical stuff that converts the toughness to the softness.
Yeah.
It's a process of the collagen is tough and the gelatin is soft. And that's what happens in the magic of the low and slow cooking of a brisket. And so,
How many hours?
usually 13, 14, 15, 16, depending on the size. And some people cook it fast, like 275 degrees. And some people cook it slow, about 200. Some people wrap brisket, and some people don't. And some people let it rest.
Or they do both.
Or they do both. And some people do have this method of resting overnight, like 10 hours.
So cook it the day before.
Yeah, cook it the day before. Wrapping it in a passive cooler, just like a box that's like insulated.
Wrap it in a bunch of towels and
Yep.
whatnot and keep it warm. And I wish I would do that more often when I'm going to serve it because I'm one of those people like, I'm going to get up really early in the morning and make this brisket for Christmas Eve or something,
right.
for a party.
That's right.
And then it's like I'm sweating bullets, just sweating bullets. And
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's a tough piece of meat, but on the competition, it's kind of meat number one.
Yeah.
And
So it was a very big win in Kansas
Oh,
City.
Yes.
yeah. And it's something that we really prize
World
ourselves at
champions.
City Barbecue.
Yeah. And you'd been teaching barbecue classes for a very long time.
Where do you teach? Tell us about that.
Good things. with the
There was a. This is night. Let's see, when would we have moved first together? 1980.
80. No,
One
it
or
was,
two?
it was earlier than that. 'Cause
So
on
around
Stanwood,
1980, Rich and I lived in Bexley together, and there was a gal that opened a cookware store called Good Things,
Good Things.
in a little strip in Bexley on Main Street. And I walked in there one day and said, Betty, not Betty. I'm thinking of Betty.
You're
Thinking of
Ross,
Betty
Ross.
last weekend. Nancy, I think I'd like to do a barbecue competition or a barbecue cooking class for people in your store. She said, that's unbelievable. A friend of mine, a customer, just came in the other day and said, I'd like you to put a barbecue class together for my husband and his buddies for Father's Day coming up. I mean, that's literally what happened.
It's like you and Mailer.
Kismet, I'm telling you.
So I collected
universe.
everybody's Weber grills in the neighborhood, including Rich's. I thought I had to have a Weber grill for everything,
Every guy?
for every piece of meat that I was cooking. A few years later, I realized I could cook everything on one Weber. but we hauled the Webers over there, and I cranked them up and. And
What were you out on the sidewalk in Bexley?
we were right out in the parking lot.
Okay.
Exactly right. So we spent an hour or so inside putting all the meats together. The chef word is mise en place. That's a great word for people that don't know what mise en place is. French for things in place.
Oh, mise en place. Okay.
It's what
I like
you do
it.
to get ready to do something.
Yeah, which you should do anytime you cook because
actually,
I can give you lots of reasons why not.
It's a word that applies specifically to cooking, but it's a word that applies to so many things in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you have a goal and you're going to get there, you're going to get from A to B, but you got to do so much stuff at A in order to get to B. You got to do it beforehand. Like Steve is the most important mise en place person I know of.
Yes, he is.
Indeed.
I call him Factotum.
Mr. Mise en place.
I like it.
He keeps
Very
us.
French.
So we would spend about an hour in the store putting the things together, the trout and carving up the leg of lamb for grilling and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then go out, cook it, talk about it as we did it, talk about how to cook, how to do it, and how to temp it, how to temperature it for the degree of doneness that you want. And then
in his own sauce, which is legendary, starting off with a bottle of Coca-Cola and some
Yeah.
ketchup.
Okay, all right. Is it public? The
oh yeah, but
recipe?
that was my mother's sort of recipe. But our original sauce was a regular brand of sauce, plus some chipotle pepper to make it.
Okay, I love Chipotle. I love the smoke.
Little
Love the smoke
smoky
in that,
heat,
yeah.
Deep heat, yeah.
and some cider vinegar to make it more acidic. But in the world of, as I say, in the world of competition, the sauce is nothing. It's a meat competition.
Yeah.
And so when we started City BBQ, we wanted to have sauces that people like, because almost in Columbus you couldn't eat barbecue without a sauce. Whereas in so many places around the country, including Texas, which, as I say, is sort of our favorite culture, sauces, you have to ask for it.
Wow.
And when you get it sometimes at Louis Mueller's, for example, you get a little cup of bouillon, like it's
right.
It's just
the
wet.
juice, au jus or whatever.
Yeah, like jus. They don't. That's their sauce.
Now, when I go to City BBQ, it seems to me they ask me what kind of sauce I want.
Well,
I
they
can't.
do sometimes, but mostly in our stores now. COVID made us do a lot of things differently.
Oh, it's already prepackaged.
It was prepackaged.
Yeah.
You have to ask for it.
Yeah,
Now we have sauce back out of the service station.
Okay.
Where you have
Squirt bottles.
Yeah, it's
we have silvers
okay.
in bottles that are
That's right. Okay.
that have names on them.
I never have to ask for it. It's just there. I
Yeah,
can pick
right.
what I want.
Right.
Okay,
if you're
now
taking
then.
something out,
Let's-
if you're taking out, which you might be doing, they ask you if you want sauce.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if you're in the restaurant, which
Just had City BBQ the other day at a grad party.
Me
We
too.
served City BBQ at my kid's grad party in 2014.
How
now that I think
many
about that.
wedding receptions?
3,000 weddings this year, unbelievable wedding. We did a catering for a company down near Atlanta a month ago for 5,500 people.
Wow.
It was the catering we catered it the whole day.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's for everybody who
It
was working it. and
This
every-
company
yeah. Interesting.
wanted to celebrate like $1 billion of sales or something. They wanted to serve their friends and their employees and customers, and so they hired us to do that, and it was an enormous success.
Wow.
5,500 people.
That's
But
crazy.
catering is a huge part of City BBQ, and it's a wonderful way to advertise.
They do a great job. We used them for the class reunion last year, and it was perfection. It's and reasonably priced for what you get.
Well, you can, because you can work catering in many ways. You can pick it up. You can have us come out and deliver it and then walk away. You can have us come out and set up all the tables and tents and
Yeah, it's
and actually serve the food, which we did at this huge event, which we do mostly for weddings, for example. It's a much nicer way to do it.
Yeah.
3,000.
Oh, doubling back when you were starting at Good Things.
Oh, yes.
You had a trusted assistant.
Well, that's what I say. Rich and I were friends, and we lived next to each other for 30 years, five doors away. In those early years, it was fun to have somebody at your side, and Rich was a friend, and we became friends. And
The real story is that he was too cheap to pay for the cooking.
I asked if I could audit the class, and Jim said no, but you can come and help.
Okay.
Just
I
saying.
chopped for years. Yeah.
All right. So, there's the brisket. Yay.
yay,
But
pork,
there's the
pork.
sides.
Oh, the sides.
forget about
Everything.
the sides.
Texas beef.
Yeah, I would say some people come to a restaurant, a City BBQ for the sides.
And most of them are based on family recipes of.
Yeah, like for example, the corn pudding that we
Which
have.
is excellent.
Okay, I went to a potluck dinner at the Broad Street Presbyterian Church in 1980, and or maybe earlier, and there was this little container of corn something with a slick of butter on top, and it was about the best thing I had ever eaten, and I found this little lady who was she was kind of embarrassed to tell me that it was made with Jiffy. And
Jiffy corn muffin mix.
Jiffy corn muffin mix, and so much butter that it actually came apart and slicked on top. And so we redid the recipe a spec so that we didn't have so much butter floating on top, and that's our
Jiffy muffin mix.
Jiffy corn pudding recipe is amazing and fabulous. And that's what we've been serving for 26 years.
I think it saved Jiffy.
And then it's Mary Lou's potato salad recipe. I mean, that's they're all family recipes.
The mac and cheese, and then I like this coleslaw. I'm always a big
Texas,
slaw person.
prison beans.
Actually, we don't serve prison beans in exactly the same way as the prison beans.
Did you say prison beans?
Prison beans.
Oh, okay. we had a block party in the Bexley in the 80s and 90s, and we learned that, and somebody brought a big old black roaster full of these beans that looked dark and molassesy and
crust on top,
crusty. And the guy said that these are called prison beans. My grandfather Carver used to make these beans for Sunday and take them down to the prison on Spring Street and give them to the inmates, just as a gift. Yeah. And so he explained that his family had been making these his grandpa Carver's prison beans for 25 or 30 years. And so I said, well, I got to get the recipe. And he said, well, we got to do it right now because I'm moving away from Bexley tomorrow. He said this was the day after like a 4th of July party.
I'm stressing out now.
Yeah, so we sat on the curb on Remington Road. We had Stanwood and Remington were the people who were involved in this get together, and he wrote that bean recipe down, and we made these beans for the Bexley Labor Day block party where we did chicken. We roasted chicken on a big grill that we set up in Jeffrey Park, and I got all the ingredients, and we recruited families in Bexley, and they would all come over and get a batch of the ingredients and make the prison beans in their home overnight because they had to cook overnight at a real low temperature, so they get real crusty.
The crusty part, yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
I had a call last week from a
family
good friend that you know.
Working together.
And her son-in-law's birthday was the next day. And her son-in-law doesn't like to eat very much, but he loves these beans.
Yeah.
And she panicked because she lost the recipe. So, it's out, Connie Copeland. It's out there and a favorite of not only Bexley folks, but a few Arlington folks as well.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Cross-cultural.
You're right.
So, in 2016, so 9 years ago now, a private equity firm acquired a stake in City Barbecue.
Yep.
How did that change the situation?
Well, in 2015, Rick and I and my buddies, the 5 of us who were running the business then, I mean, Rick was obviously running it day to day. We were his sounding board and board. We stopped adding restaurants to our then 14 or 15 or 16 restaurants.
Company owned.
In Ohio.
Oh, yes, right, just right around here.
Yeah.
We had expanded it a bit.
But they were all company owned.
All company owned. We stopped doing that, and we took stock of the business, so to speak. And we took really stock of our goal and our mission for growth. We said, do we have it in us? Do we have enough quality about our product and our company and our personal goals to ramp up this thing and take it bigger? Or is the current way that we're managing a relatively small business okay? We were making great money, and Rick was in charge, and it was humming along.
Yeah.
You know, a business that's in business for 25 years that only has 75 stores, which is where we are now, is not meteoric growth.
No,
It's
but it
kind-
was solid and steady. And
Well, that's right. But
And
so
it
we get
was-
to this spot in 2016. We have about 25 stores, and we realize that we're just at the spot, just coming over the hump of being a teeny business and getting into a medium-sized business where we weren't sure we knew how to put the management team together.
Okay.
That we just didn't. We weren't quite sure that we had that knowledge. As a matter of fact, we didn't.
Okay. If you had to ask, then you probably
We didn't.
did. Yeah,
We didn't. And so this private equity firm, we sought a private equity partner to not for money, but to help us learn how to build a more successful smaller business into a bigger business. Not small to huge,
Okay.
but just from our current setting to a larger firm, a larger company. And that's what they knew how to do. For example, this firm, Freeman Spogli, who's named in the Business First article, helped First Watch do the same thing.
Okay.
They helped Sur La Table do the same thing. They helped the furniture company, Arhas, do the same thing.
Oh, all
Go
right.
from
That
small.
company. It's the same
to
company
big.
that did all that
Yeah.
scaled.
Yeah,
All of it.
those
That's
were examples
interesting.
of successful.
So they're very curative too. Then they are.
That's
They
right.
were picking out particular. They came to you.
Yeah. Well, no.
or
you go looking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You go if you want to do it. You meaning City BBQ. We knew we wanted to do it, and then
Okay.
we went looking, and we had friends. Specifically, one of our board members, Bob Bernstock, who lived in Columbus and who was the president of Scott's, was a fabulous marketing guy, and he knew he knew a few
Okay.
of these private equity firms.
You just kind of put the word out there and
Yep,
then see
yep,
what. Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And then we went looking, and we made that choice, and it's been a fabulous choice, and we're still partners.
You still though think of 75 stores as not huge
Oh well, it isn't. It isn't.
in the
Well, I
larger
mean,
scheme of things, right?
Chick-fil-A has, I think 6,000 stores.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're like a church. Every street corner.
Exactly.
Oh, I think one of the critical things, and it's been maintained, is the quality control, which you've had a big part of, I know.
Yeah.
Didn't you? You had a couple of franchise attempts that did go well because they weren't using the right mayonnaise.
Yeah. Well, they weren't doing the right mayonnaise, but more importantly, they weren't paying their people on time.
Yeah.
They didn't have the culture that we thought was essential to the
Yeah.
growth of the business. I mean, everybody talks about culture, but when you develop a way of doing business and a way of communicating with your employees and your team people, you develop a certain idea of what quality is. For example, recently, a couple of years ago, we decided that the cost of potatoes was rising, and the cost of handling the fresh potatoes and doing the fresh potato work that we did to make what are great fries was becoming difficult, and so we decided to. I can hardly say it. We decided to use a frozen fry.
Yes. Yes.
Well, not only did the customers revolt, but our team members revolted. They said, "That's not us. That's this
That's
product.
great.
That's
Yeah.
great that you. Yeah.
This product is okay, but it's nothing like it used to be.
Yeah.
and it belies when we say we want to do the best. This belies that, and so we went back.
There's a sign in our local City BBQ that says French fries are back.
Exactly. Well, we actually want to tell people because we were
Yeah.
kind of embarrassed by what we did.
Yeah.
Well,
And wanted to kind of say,
You got the right culture if the employees are objecting to this.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
they can't hold themselves out to meet.
Before we forget, we should note that there's an article in the June 5th Columbus Business First that tell some of the story that
Right, with
that
co-founder
our
Rick
folks would like to
Mailer.
like to read.
Right, Rick is he's everything to this business from the very beginning, because John and Mike and I had we had no interest in day-to-day running of the business, but that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he knew he could do it because he had done it successfully with his consulting capacity with his former employer, John Deere. And so he did it so successfully. And today he's our executive chairman. We have a new, like classic business growth. You get to a spot where you run out of competence of the first people who started the place, and you have to go out and find your next round of big hitters to make it happen. And that's quite frankly what Freeman Spogli helped us do.
Okay.
So now we have a gang of leadership and the leadership team that looks like a real pro team of restaurant management, and that's great.
From those 15 restaurants to 75.
Yeah.
That's a
Yep,
huge
and
difference.
probably 5 more this year, to a total of 80 by the end of the year, with additions in Alabama and Tennessee. And then next year, probably 10 or 11
Any
more.
in Texas?
No, no in Texas. None in Texas. We kind of want to stay. If you can visualize, our stores are from Wisconsin, kind of southeastern route, right
Okay.
down to Florida.
Okay, gotcha.
So at the top of the country.
75 down. Yeah.
Right down.
Okay.
And filling in Alabama and Tennessee this year will make kind of a full strip right down.
But you've gone into barbecue country in Carolinas and stuff like that and succeeded.
Yeah, we went to Cary, North Carolina first.
And I said, "Are you taking barbecue to North
To
Carolina?"
barbecue, yeah.
You guys are pretty
Well,
confident.
it sort of sounds like strange and risky, but think about it. If you start a barbecue joint in Columbus, you have to talk to people hard about understanding what barbecue is.
Yeah.
Educate them.
If you have a little smoke ring on the chicken thigh to 10 people out of 100, it's underdone. You have to explain what a smoke ring looks like.
Yeah.
Well, in North Carolina, you don't have to tell anybody about barbecue. They know already. So what you need is you want the meat to taste good. You want the stuff to taste good.
Yeah.
You want the bathrooms to be clean. You
Yeah.
want the server to smile. You want clean floors in the dining room. And it doesn't mean that you're bringing barbecue from Ohio. It's just good barbecue.
It's just good barbecue.
That's right.
Well, Jim Budros, we ran out of time. And it's been a pleasure talking food and barbecue, especially with you today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Ann.
It's been great, Jim. Thank you. I have to have episode 2.
And your lovely assistant, my co-host, Rich Terapak. Thanks to everyone else for listening. You can find all of our episodes of Chefs in the City on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, a meal is best shared, so share Chefs in the City with your friends and family. We're on Facebook with Ann Fisher's Chefs in the City, and you can email us at chefsinthecity111@gmail.com. Take care. Thanks.
Boxland Media. Think big.